There's a wind current!
Hello everyone! Sometimes an entire year passes by and we end up missing some truly amazing movies. So today I've brought you a list of the top 10 best movies from 2025 and some recent releases that are absolutely must watch. From gripping stories to pure entertainment, these films deliver top quality experiences, and the hype around them still hasn't faded. So without wasting any more of your time, let's jump straight into the list. The story follows a poor seamstress who is traveling down a quiet road when she accidentally walks into the aftermath of a brutal drug deal. Bodies are scattered everywhere, and right in the middle of the chaos lies a suitcase packed with money. That's where the story takes its most mind-bending turn. The film explores 3 different timelines based on the 3 choices she could make. What happens if she steals the money? What if she calls the police? Or what if she runs away? Each decision leads her into a dangerous confrontation with ruthless drug traffickers. But instead of guns, the girl fights back using the only tools she has, her needles, thread, and sewing skills, turning them into surprisingly deadly weapons. Can a simple seamstress survive against violent killers using nothing but her sewing tools? Which of the 3 paths leads to survival, and which ones end in disaster? This twisted crime story will keep your mind spinning until the very end. If you enjoy dark crime stories, alternate timelines, and clever survival thrillers, this is definitely a movie you shouldn't miss. The film is so torn, and it's available to watch on Prime Video and Apple. Imagine waking up one morning only to discover that every door and window in your home has been sealed by a mysterious, unbreakable black wall, and there's no way out. The story follows a couple who are already struggling through one of the worst phases of their lives. But one morning, they suddenly find themselves trapped inside their own apartment building. No exits, no phone signal, and no access to clean water. Desperate for answers, they break through the walls to reach their neighbors. But as food and water begin to run out, fear spreads through the building. Soon the real danger isn't the walls anymore, it's the people trapped inside. Panic turns neighbors against each other, and survival becomes a brutal game. Then they uncover a shocking truth. The black barrier isn't ordinary concrete. It's an advanced nanotechnology system that has sealed the entire building like a prison. Can the couple survive both the deadly trap and the desperate people around them? And if they somehow escape the building, will the world outside even still exist? The suffocating tension of this mystery will keep you on edge until the very end. If you enjoy claustrophobic settings, dark survival stories, and mysterious sci-fi thrillers, this is definitely a movie you shouldn't miss. The film is Brick, and it's available to stream on Netflix. What happens when a romantic trip high above the mountains suddenly turns into a deadly trap in the sky? The story follows a couple trying to fix their struggling relationship. To reconnect, they take a peaceful hot air balloon trip over breathtaking mountain landscapes. But their beautiful journey through the clouds quickly turns into a nightmare. Thousands of meters above the ground, an unknown passenger suddenly forces her way into the balloon's basket. With no way to escape in the middle of the sky, the mysterious woman hijacks the balloon. And soon, a chilling truth begins to surface. She shares a dark and dangerous connection with the man's past. Now the couple faces 2 terrifying threats at once, a violent storm building around them, and a stranger with a deadly agenda. Can the couple survive this deadly situation hanging thousands of meters above the ground? Or will the woman's revenge send them crashing down from the sky? The tension of this high-altitude survival thriller will keep you on edge until the very end. If you enjoy survival thrillers set in extreme situations and dark suspense stories that keep your heart racing, this is a movie you shouldn't miss. The film is Turbulence, available to stream on Lionsgate Play and Airtel. What happens when a ruthless ex-commando decides to turn his own house into a deadly trap for the men who murdered his wife? The story follows a former Special Forces soldier who moves to a quiet town with his pregnant wife, hoping to start a peaceful new life. But that peace is shattered when a brutal group of local criminals murders his wife. Blinded by grief and rage, the commando kills one of the attackers on the spot. But for that act, he ends up spending 6 years in prison. The real game begins when he finally gets out. Instead of running away, he uses the law to his advantage and sets a terrifying trap, inviting the same criminals into his own house. But this is no ordinary home anymore. He transforms it into a deadly fortress filled with hidden traps and lethal surprises. Now the armed gang believes they're walking into an easy kill, without realizing they've stepped straight into a hunter's trap. Can one man really take down an entire group of armed killers, or will he fall victim to his own deadly plan? The relentless action and brutal revenge will keep you hooked until the very end. If you enjoy one-man army action, deadly traps, and intense revenge stories, this is a movie you definitely shouldn't miss. The film is Stand Your Ground, and it's available to watch on Prime Video and Apple. What happens when the city's most dangerous drug cartel falls into the hands of 2 cops? The same cops their own department treats like a joke? The story follows 2 completely different police officers. One is an honest cop who tries to do the right thing, even if he's a little clumsy. The other is a tough detective who got demoted after a major mistake and is now stuck doing minor assignments. Most of the time, their job is nothing more than writing traffic tickets. But everything changes when a routine case suddenly pulls them into the web of the city's most powerful drug cartel. As the investigation goes deeper, they uncover a terrifying truth. Some of the highest-ranking officers officers in their own department are secretly part of the operation. Now they have no authority, no backup, and no one they can trust. So the two unlikely cops decide to break the rules and start a dangerous war to expose the corruption. Can two underestimated cops really take down a powerful cartel and the corrupt officers protecting it? Or will this dark conspiracy eliminate them before the truth comes out? The betrayal and action inside the system will keep you hooked until the very end. The film is Almost Cops, and it's available to stream on Netflix. What happens when someone spends 500 years trapped at the bottom of the ocean and finally returns as your most dangerous enemy? The story follows a group of immortal warriors who have secretly protected humanity for centuries. But this time, everything is different. Their leader has lost her immortality, and for the first time in centuries, she's just a vulnerable human facing death. After being imprisoned beneath the ocean for 500 years, one of their former allies finally escapes, consumed by revenge. And just as that deadly conflict begins, another terrifying threat emerges, a powerful enemy who wants to erase the immortals from existence forever. Now their former leader must face two impossible battles, surviving the wrath of her vengeful companion and stopping a catastrophic war centered around a nuclear facility that could destroy everything. Without her powers, can their leader stop the coming disaster? Or will this be the battle that finally ends the immortals forever? The brutal revenge and non-stop action will keep you hooked until the very end. If you enjoy stories about immortal warriors, dark rivalries, and intense survival action, this is a movie you definitely shouldn't miss. The film is The Old Guard 2, and it's available to stream on Netflix. The story follows a young man who leaves his old life behind and moves to New York, hoping for a fresh start. But the moment he arrives, he runs into a ruthless local champion, a fighter who rules the streets and refuses to let anyone challenge his dominance. Instead of backing down, the young fighter makes an impossible decision. He enters the city's most dangerous martial arts tournament to challenge the champion himself. But this opponent fights with no mercy, and losing could mean far more than just defeat. That's when two legendary masters step in to train him. One a master of kung fu, the other a master of karate. Together, they combine their styles to transform him into a powerful and unstoppable fighter. Can the newcomer defeat the brutal champion inside the ring, or will the final fight crush him before he ever gets the chance to prove himself? The intense training, bone-crushing fights, and martial arts action will keep you hooked until the very end. If you enjoy underdog comeback stories, intense training arcs, and raw martial arts action, this is definitely a movie you shouldn't miss. The film is Karate Kid Legends, and it's available to stream on Netflix, Prime Video, and Apple TV. What happens when a reporter chasing the biggest story of her career has to sit alone in a locked room with a serial killer who claims he has murdered 11 people? The story follows a journalist desperate for the scoop that could change her career forever. She encounters a quiet and composed doctor who calmly confesses that he has brutally killed 11 people. The entire story unfolds inside a single hotel room, where the reporter and the killer sit face to face. But as the interview goes on, the conversation slowly turns into a chilling psychological mind game. Instead of simply answering questions, the killer begins manipulating the reporter herself. Then comes the darkest twist. His victims aren't random people, but dangerous criminals who escaped justice. And the most terrifying revelation of all, his next target might be someone very close to the reporter. Can the reporter expose the truth behind this terrifying killer, or will she become trapped inside his twisted psychological game? The suspense inside this locked room thriller will keep you glued to the screen. If you enjoy dark psychological thrillers and intense mind games set in confined spaces, this is a movie you definitely shouldn't miss. The film is Murderer Report, and it's available to rent on Prime Video and Apple. What would you do if an angel suddenly changed your life overnight, turning you from a struggling nobody into a billionaire? But what if that magical favor ended up becoming a dangerous mistake? The story follows a young man who struggles every day just to survive. Seeing his hardship, an angel decides to help him, using magic to swap his life with that of an incredibly wealthy billionaire. At first, the change feels like a dream. Overnight, the young man finds himself surrounded by luxury, power, and endless wealth. But soon he becomes so addicted to this new life that he refuses to go back to the one he left behind. That's when everything goes wrong. The angel's plan completely backfires, and for interfering with the natural order, the angel is punished, losing his wings and powers forever. Now the once magical being is trapped on Earth as an ordinary human, forced to survive in the same harsh world he once tried to fix. Will the fallen angel ever find a way back to the heavens? And how will greed and temptation reshape the lives of everyone involved? This dark comedy about fate and fortune takes some unexpected turns. If you enjoy fantasy stories mixed with comedy, life-swapping twists, and clever suspense, this is a movie you shouldn't miss. The film is Good Fortune, and it's available to watch on Prime. What happens when a terrifying event in space gives 4 ordinary people powers that make them almost godlike, and suddenly the survival of the entire planet depends on them? The story follows 4 individuals who are exposed to dangerous cosmic radiation during a mission in space. When they return to Earth, they discover they've developed incredible abilities, transforming them into one of the most powerful superhero teams the world has ever seen. But before they can even learn to control their new powers, a dark cosmic threat appears. From the depths of space, a massive and terrifying entity begins moving toward Earth, a being known for consuming entire entire planets. No weapon on Earth can stop it. So the team comes up with a desperate and dangerous plan to teleport the entire planet to another part of the universe before the cosmic destroyer arrives. But if anything goes wrong, the Earth could be lost forever. Can this new superhero team stop a planet-devouring threat from space? Or will their risky teleportation plan destroy the world before the enemy even arrives? If you enjoy cosmic superpowers, end-of-the-world stakes, and dark sci-fi action adventures, this is a movie you definitely shouldn't miss. The film is The Fantastic Four: First Steps, and it's available to watch on Disney+, Prime Video, and Apple TV.